here's the point of this.
Uh-huh.
We are making it's the dichotomy of the whole thing. We are making our children feel like the most special people ever. The whole family is going to stop because we're going to rush you over here and we're going to stop. And that's the most important. You've got to be at soccer practice. And so we're going to rush you over there and we're going to spend all of this money and all of this time. And then we're going to rush over and watch and cheer your games.
It's okay to make them the star, isn't it, for a while?
Hold on just a second.
All right.
Could you hold on?
All right.
It is the dichotomy which would mean there would be something else that kind of wrecks that whole thing. At the same time, we then treat our children like absolute morons when it comes to any kind of responsibility. Well, they're just kids. They didn't know what they were doing when they raped and killed that old lady.
But you're the parent.
So we're teaching.
Yes, it's up to you to
so
teach
it's
them
up
that.
to you to manage this system. You have you personally have kids in organized sports.
Did I say I was going to ban sports? Did I say that?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Why can't you? Why are you having an issue with this? Why are you so fired up about it? Because this is again.
Well, it sounds like you're doing all the
more
right
of
things.
a rant to yourself.
It sounds like you're doing the right thing.
Isn't that what I said?
That's what I just quoted you.
Isn't that what I just said?
That's what when I said like you said, that's what I was indicating. Yes, that you said it. That's why I said like you said.
Yes.
That's how the English language
So
works.
then why is it that you have such a problem?
No,
I
I'm
said
saying
this
that's
is more a rant about me than it is about you.
So-
I'm just asking, can we just think about what we're doing? Can we think about what we're doing? Let's stop treating our children like children and they're morons at the same time treating them like Beckham. Can we stop treating them in such a way where what message are we sending them? How do they even survive in this world?
Well,
how do they even make sense of this world?
We've talked about that a million times, but that's not organized sports. It's the progressivism that's crept into liberal or organized sports. Because that's the trophy. That's the participation trophy mentality and all of that, and giving the game ball to every single one on the team, whether they did something good or not. You can't do any of that stuff.
Yes.
That wrecks it.
Yes.
That wrecks it.
Yes.
I wonder if your lack of
Have you
sports
ever heard of me? Have you heard me? Have you heard me call for the disbanding of organized sports?
Well, you're pretty close.
Pretty close.
In
that
15 minutes
monologue,
ago.
if you summarize that,
close.
that's probably where you get.
Yeah.
In
No,
fact,
that's what
all
you would have
coaches
gotten.
should
and
be
I'll take the
executed.
blame for it. And I'll take the blame for it. Maybe I was just a poor communicator.
We should ask
but that was
people on the
not the
phone
point. No,
what
for
the
the love of
impression
God.
they had of your rant 15 minutes ago.
Because the thing that first kept me off on this was your depiction of the other father, which one of them you seemed legitimately to be critical of, and I think for a legitimate reason. He was saying, get out of the way, criticizing their child for not doing a good enough job. Yeah. The other one was praising them, and you use both of them as an examples, effusively praising them. Great job, honey, blah, blah, blah. Effusively praising them, and you use both of them as examples of what's wrong. And to me, that's not turning them into David Beckham. It's being encouraging to your child. Hey, you're doing a great job. You're trying to be supportive. That's all. Mm-hmm. Now, maybe, as you said, maybe this person was much worse in real life, and in person it was actually awful.
I wasn't
and
alone
maybe
in the family. I'm alone in the believe me, my wife, she doesn't have the same kind of amount of problem with this as I do. Mm-hmm. She won't answer it the same way that I do. But there wasn't a single member of the family or the friends we were sitting with that didn't look at both of those parents and go, good God, man, get a life. Get a life. And let's put this game with the Bluebonnets in perspective.
Well, that may be their life, though, because I just want to go on record as saying that was my life at one point, and it worked.
Yeah.
It's called the National Football League.
Until your son hurt himself intentionally, inflicted it so he could destroy his father's life.
It is a pretty good piece of evidence from Jeffy there that his son plays in the National Football League.
And that was one of the conversations was, hey, somebody, could grow up and they could be a real star. Yeah, and somebody could. But let's keep it into perspective. What are we doing? Are we growing? Is that what we're doing here? Are we growing sports stars? Because then I got a problem with the glorification of the sports stars. And I'm a guy who was just defending at a get-together. I don't remember where it even was, but people were taking apart how much these sports stars make. And I'm like, hello? Why not?
Yeah.
They're the draw. They're the ones. It's not the stadium, and it's not just the team. It's the stars on the team. And if that's what the club is going to make, why aren't they getting a good piece of that? I mean, I'm a guy who is defending this. I don't understand it, but I don't have to understand it. Whatever. I just really have I have a real problem that we are teaching our kids at 6. Let's stop the world and make the world about you. And this is the most important thing. And I expect you to go out there and even have all of the uniforms so you look just like a real sports team. But I treat you like a moron when it comes to teaching you anything of real value. I can certainly have you in every single sport, every single activity, get you involved in absolutely everything. And when we were in Connecticut, they were hiring coaches for these kids. These people are so out of control. They're hiring private coaches. They're 6 years old. What are you having a private coach for? What is wrong with you? But, oh boy, here's bad.
As a person who has hired private coaches for his kids
son,
for baseball.
Yeah.
And
look at your son. Did he have natural talent?
Yes.
But this was everybody, and don't play that game.
I know.
This was everybody. I don't have a problem with
people
private
get
coaches.
Carried away.
I don't have a problem with private piano lessons, and not everybody is Rachmaninoff. I get it. Yeah. But this was, Glenn, you don't have a private coach. My son was 4. You don't have I'm not kidding you.
Yeah, 4 is ridiculous. Yeah.
4.
Yes.
You don't have a private coach. And honest to God, the conversation was, he won't get into the right school. Then I don't want him to go to that school.
No.
Did you have who was your private coach for soccer when you were 4? What?
Yeah, that's absurd.
It's insane.
Right.
It's insane.
Yeah, it is.
And then at the same time, we give them condoms. We give them all these things. They can experience the world. But then we treat them like morons when it comes to holding them responsible for their own actions. Oh, they're just kids. They didn't know any better. When you try to teach them anything really in school and you say, let's teach them both sides. Let's teach them both sides and let them decide. Let them see what's really going on. Oh, we can't. We can't show them pictures of the World Trade Center coming down. That's too scary. Yeah, it is scary. Maybe once in a while they should be scared. Do you know what these kids are going to have to deal with? And second of all, do you know who they are? If you believe in God, you think he sent in a worthless bunch of people? He's like, yeah, okay, it's going to get really dicey here, and Jesus is coming soon, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to send in all the dregs. He's sending in the best and the brightest, and we're treating them like morons, and we're not arming them with anything. We're not teaching them anything. We're not even sharing with them what's really going on. For the love of Pete, Abraham Lincoln had to survive and keep his sister alive on twigs and berries because Dad was so irresponsible. He just left.
For like 10 months, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. It was almost a year. He just left, and
he
survived. Now, he was screwed up from it. I don't recommend that. But our kids are not helpless, crippled little Bambis. Every other generation, except this one, and it's because of the progressive movement, every other generation has talked to their 12-year-olds as if they were really capable of understanding what was coming in the world. We don't. We protect them, and we coddle them, and we cheer them. But we don't tell them anything. We don't teach them anything. And we certainly don't let them work or hold them responsible for anything.